this is 365801 and this is another BL year in review video, and this one is all about completing collections. So as I said, this is a completing collections video. This is, once again, the 4th annual one. I still can't believe that I have something that I do every year and it's the 4th one. In the very first year, in 2019, I organised this video by hauls, so each month I looked at what was coming in, but the next year I decided to organise it by publisher, because that felt a little bit more organised in terms of looking at the collection and what I was coming in and what was being completed. So I had organised it by publisher to look at what I still needed to get, what I had added to the collection, as well as looking at the series within each of those publishers and if I was completing those series as well. So this is once again going to be organised by publisher, and I'll be doing it in the same way that I did last year, which is to organise it in sort of descending order of how many I have added depending on which publisher. I'll be starting with the publisher that I added the most and then going down to the ones I've added the least. Although this is the 4th one in my series, I do think it might be worth looking at previous year's ones as well. I have obviously had a look at previous ones in preparation for making this video, but yeah, it's a fun thing to do, is to look back at previous years' videos and compare and contrast to the one that you're making this year in terms of the numbers and what you were able to complete and how excited you were about it. So yeah, this is definitely a video that I enjoy because I like looking at what I'm bringing into my collection. I like analysing what I'm bringing in. I like looking specifically at different publishers, what's still to be collected, what I can collect, what I'm not collecting, and also the series within each publisher, which ones I'm focusing on and which ones I'm not. So yeah, this is a fun one for me to do, and always one that I enjoy getting some stats for. So let's just get into it and have a look to see what I've got. I don't think it'll be too much of a surprise what my most bought publisher is, and that is Sublime. So I managed to pick up 19 volumes from Sublime Manga in 2022. I'm very happy about this, but I was only able to complete one series, and that is Toratan Birds of Feather. It's only a 2-volume series, and I was able to pick up the first volume so I could finally read it. Something I have discussed in previous videos, but I haven't slapped up on the screen as a statistic, and I feel like that's something I should be doing, and that is how many series I'm up to date with. So Yarichin Bitch Club, I'm up to date. Don't Be Cruel, up to date. MADK, I'm up to date. Therapy Game Restart, up to date. Punch Up, up to date. The World's Greatest First Love, up to date. So that's 6 series that I'm up to date with, and Lynx is a standalone. So that's one as well. The other one on the other side is Given. Now at this moment I am up to date with Given because the physical volume 7 has not been released, or it certainly hasn't been released in the UK. So at the moment and during 2022 I became and continue to be up to date with, I think that's so 6, 7, and that's a really good one to be able to say I've been keeping up to date with these series. Unfortunately, Cast Heaven I'm not up to date with, and there is some that I need to pick up. Volume 4 is missing from my series, I've got a gap, and then volume 7 and I think volume 8 will be released soon. Physically, I'm missing some from Jealousy. His Favourite, I picked up volume 12, but I have a gap because I've not purchased volume 11. So I'll have to keep an eye out for that one to be able to maintain that. So I could have picked up volume 11 and then I wouldn't have a gap. So that's definitely one I need to. Bad Boys Happy Home is a new one. So that's another statistic that I haven't been tracking. And I feel like that's a miss, or at least a missed opportunity for me because I love stats. And that's how many new series I've started. That's definitely something especially because I can't read this one. This is volume 3. It's a 3-volume series. I need volume 1 and 2 to be able to read it. So how many new series I've started is 1 for Sublime, because Lynx doesn't count because it's a standalone. I've already read it. So yeah, that's quite interesting. So 19 volumes, 1 completed series, 1 new started series started collecting, and most of the rest of them is up to date or there's some gaps. So yeah, it definitely feels like I need to be doing this more and looking at it in terms of starting and finishing series. Now, the next publisher that I collected the most from was Net Comics, and I got 13 volumes from Net Comics. I have to say, it's not as though I'm focusing on it, but I have definitely in the last 2 years got more than I did the year before when I only picked up 1 volume. So Net Comics has risen in terms of its focus for me and trying to get the volumes when they come out. Unfortunately, that wasn't always the case this year. In terms of any series completed, I have now finally got Intense Volume 3, and so I have all of the volumes of Intense, so I can now read that series. I also picked up Volume 5 and 7. Maybe it was just 7. I'm pretty sure I picked up Volume 5. Yep, I did. 5 and 7 for Sweet Blood. So I was able to read that whole series as well. So not only did I complete the series, but I read it as well, and it was a pleasant surprise. I really enjoyed it. It was a really good buddy read with Katie. I highly recommend it. It's really good. Another one that I was able to complete is To Take an Enemy's Heart, so that's really good. But I did start a new series, start collecting Boy Princess. Because Se Young Kim had done such a good job with Sweet Blood, we both discussed it and we're like, I don't have the full Boy Princess, I don't have any. So I ended up picking up volumes 1 and 5, I think, for Boy Princess. The one there at the bottom is a continuing one, and that is the Totally Peeking Under the Sheets, and I got volume 2. And now I think I only have 1 more volume to get for Totally Captivated, and that is the Totally Peeking Under the Sheets Volume 1. So I need to get that, and then I'll have all the extras and all of Totally Captivated. So I need to focus, I think, this year on getting that finished, as well as picking up Volume 2 of His House, if I can. I've seen it for a good price, I just didn't pick it up at the time, and I feel bad about it. But yeah, I also want to see if I can pick up more volumes of Boy Princess for good prices. I'm thinking like £2-3 a volume is perfectly doable, and so that's what I'm going to be focusing on, because it seems like a fun series. It's by Se Young Kim, so I'm really looking forward to the artwork and an interesting story, because I thoroughly enjoyed Sweet Blood. But yeah, it's kind of a surprise to be able to get the full To Take an Enemy's Heart, but they re-released volumes 1 and 2, and thank God they did, because I was able to pick them up. Not for brilliant bargains, but just because I knew that it would be tricky to get them if I left it too long. So yeah, I've been able to complete that one, and I'm continuing to look at Net Comics. Once again, they released some things and I wasn't aware that they were releasing them. That is Prince Barry, which I was up to date last year with the 4 volumes. Now I need to try and get 5 and 6. And The Warehouse, which is like a 5-volume series, had no idea that was coming out. Kind of came out of nowhere. And people were like, oh, I picked this up. And I was like, what the hell is that? So that's going to go on the list of things. So I'm nowhere near completing Net Comics. And they are releasing things still, which is great. I'm really happy about that. But yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out for some good bargains. The next publisher that I got from is Kodancha, and I picked up 12 volumes from Kodancha. In terms of completing series, I thought I had completed a series by collecting volumes 1 and 2 of my summer review. Turns out, nope, they're going to be releasing a 3rd volume. So at the point in time, I was like, I have completed it. Nope, you are just up to date. So volume 3 of that series will come out, and I'll try and I just have to get it. I'll have to get it. I also started a new series, and that is Descending Stories, Volume 1. I need the rest of this series. It's such a good story. It's I watched the anime of it, and I cannot stress enough how devastating it is as a story. Ugh, love it. I love having my heart ripped out and stomped on, and I love having it shoved back in again. And I love being surprised. And the series had the end of series 1, what a cliffhanger. End of series 2, boom. Oh my god, I don't think I'll ever recover. I still haven't, so yeah. And the other one that is the big one right there is Hitorijime My Hero. I made a concerted effort. And I said I was going to in last year's video, and I did. I made an effort to try and get as many of these volumes as I could for good prices. And oh my goodness, I got such great prices. So like between, £4, £5, £6, up to £7, depending on the volume. So I really made an effort, because I only had volume 1 and volume 5 and 6. So I'm up to date to volume 11. Volume 12 now has come out, and volume 13 will come out soon. So I've done quite well in terms of that. But have I completed any series? No, unfortunately not. Just due to the nature of the fact that they decided to release it. I'm fine with that. I absolutely loved my summer review. Give me more of these boys is exactly what I said at the end of volume 2. I was like, is that it? I want more of these. I want more of these guys. I want to see what happens next. And I'm so happy that I'm going to. On to the next publisher, and that is Tokyopop, with a bit of new and old Tokyopop mixed in together. And I managed to pick up from Tokyopop 8 volumes. Some of them I'd already read, so Don't Call Me Daddy, I already had a copy of that. Don't Call Me Dirty, Two Peas in a Pod, those ones I'd read already. I picked up Servant and Lord, which is just a standalone for a buddy read with Bizarra and Katie. And I managed to get Replay and Koi Monogatari Love Stories Volumes 1. So that's kind of technically starting a series, but I have them digitally as well. I get a lot of Tokyopop digitally when they're on sale on Amazon. Like £1 or £2, that's it. And then the ones at the bottom, which are new ones, well, they're old ones, but they're new to me. But they're volume 1s. So that is Kyo Karamao and Monochrome Factor. And if you've watched either of those animes, you'll know why I'm getting these. So they are now on my list. So they're the ones that I kind of feel like I started these ones. So I need to collect the rest of Monochrome Factor and if at all possible, get the rest of Kyo Karamao. Just because it's a little bit tricky. It's a 5-volume series, but they're a little bit more difficult to get hold of. Monochrome Factor it's a bit easier to get hold of, I think. So yeah, not too bad, but I didn't complete any series unless you count Don't Call Me Daddy and Don't Call Me Dirty. Because I do think that's a series. I know it's not technically a series, but I do feel like you need to read the two of them together. And it is companion books, I would say. So yeah, I feel good about that in that respect. But once again, not too many Tokyopop purchases for reasons. And, you know how I feel about Stu Levy. So on to the next publisher. That is Yen Press. And I was really surprised that I'd actually purchased 5 volumes from Yen Press, because I haven't gone out of my way to get Yen Press titles. And it's only been a few years now that Yen Press has actually been publishing BL. They had a huge section of their history where they just didn't publish any BL or BL adjacent type works. They just didn't bother. So the fact that I have 5 here is kind of amazing. I picked up a new series, which is The Vampire and His Pleasant Companions, Volume 1. There's 4 volumes, so I need to pick up 2, 3, and 4. And I think Volume 5, I think they mentioned that there will be a Volume 5, so it is still continuing. I also started another new series, I Cannot Reach You, Volumes 3 and 4, so I can't read them. Volumes 1 and 2 is out, as is Volume 5 now, so I'm a bit behind on those ones. And I also got The White Cat's Revenge as Plotted from the Dragon King's Lap, Volumes 1 and 2. Volume 3 is out, and Volume 4 has been slated for a release. However, the only reason I'm picking up these volumes as the manga is because they're done by Aki, so I need to get Volume 3 because Aki did the artwork for that. But as they've been advertising it, I have not seen the Japanese cover of Volume 4, so I don't know if Aki stopped doing the artwork. I don't know, but it's not coming up with her name as the mangaka for the adaptation for Volume 4. And if Volume 4 isn't an Aki work, I'm not picking it up. This isn't a BL. This is just Aki's work, and if you know me, you know I love Aki. So I'm gonna get anything that is in English that Aki has made, drawn. She's stunning, amazing. She's my favorite, absolute 100% my favorite. So yeah, I'm happy to get that, but I'm on the lookout for Volume 3, and then I'll have all of Aki's. If Volume 4 is not done by Aki, I will not pick it up, and I will not be adding it to my collection. I don't care enough about the story, which is written by someone else. Kureha. It's fun, and I enjoy it, but it's beautiful, and that's why. So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned. If you know anything about that, I'd love to know. So yeah, if you are a fan of Aki as well, I'd also like to know, because I think we need to band together. There's not enough of us. On to the next one. That is the BL publisher that we all know and love to hate. I picked up 5 volumes. Now, you might think, it's Junie manga. Surely, after last year, I picked up quite a stack of Junie manga from last year. How can I only have 5 volumes here? And that's because I am so close, guys. I can almost touch it, taste it. It's so close. I'm so close to having a complete Junie manga set, especially with the out of print ones. And I'm not even up to date with the new ones. So, as you can see, I have Only the Flower Knows. This is a new title. Volume 6 of Twittering Birds. That kind of came out late. Deadlock Volume 3. And 2 of the older titles. So I've got Deflower the Boss and Hey Sensei. When it comes to the ones I still need to get for Junie in terms of the older print, I know Kusabi novels and All You Need Is Love Volume 1 novel. I don't think I'm going to get that. Kizuna Deluxe Edition Volume 3. Am I going to get that? No, probably not. But I'm going to keep looking. And Kurashina Sensei's Passion Volume 2, which is not 100% BL. It's more like a BL adjacent type series. And also it was 5 volumes in Japan and they only printed 3. Then there's also The Guilty Volume 3 novel, The Ringfinger Knows Volume 4 novel, and the last proper manga is Stay Close to Me by Yaya Sakuragi. So in terms of manga, there's only 3 old ones that I need to get, I think. Yeah, Kizuna Volume 3, Kurashina Sensei's Passion Volume 2, and Stay Close to Me by Yaya Sakuragi. And the others are novels, yaoi novels. So it's kind of amazing that I've managed to get to this point. I will keep looking out for them. I will keep on searching for them. I will never give up the chase. It will happen at some point. But in terms of the newer titles, I am not up to date with Only the Flower Knows, because Volume 2 has come out. Volume 3 is slated to be released soon as well. But I am up to date with Twittering Birds because I already have Volume 7. And I'm up to date with Deadlock because I got Volume 4. So those are ones that are going to be in 2023's video. So yeah, up to date in most of them, but not all of them. And there's a few missing from the newer Junie liner. And I'll have to pick them up as and when I can. On to the next one that I got 5 from, and that's Viz. One of them is Bloody Mary Volume 8. I got a really good deal on that one. I would like to complete it all and then read it. I'm not a huge fan. I've read most of it. I think I read up to Volume 5 or 6. So I still have a couple more volumes to get for that series, and then I'll actually read it and see if it's worth keeping. It's supposed to be a bit slashable, a bit shonen-y. I hate using that term, but it is. And of course the other one there is the one that I'm absolutely in love with, and that is My Love Mix-Up. I got the first volume last, 2021, December kind of time. So this is a continuing series, and as it is, Volume 6 has not come out yet. So I am up to date. So I'm very happy about that. I will get volumes, I'll get them all. I'm going to get them all at some point during 2023. I'm not sure, will volume 9 be released? Because I think it's a 9-volume series. Will it be released in 2023? That'd be interesting to see if I can complete that. I have no idea how this story is going to go, but I absolutely love these children. They are so sweet and wonderful, and I love this series so much. It has been so much fun to read them. Just, brilliant. On to the next publisher, and this is actually one that you might be a bit surprised about. This is Boom. I actually have 5 volumes, which is why I put it here. It's got 4 in front of you, but I picked up a random Boom volume comic in a charity shop, and I already read it. In fact, I read everything. In fact, this is something else that I haven't been checking. This is another stat I haven't been checking, and that is from each publisher, how many have I read? Because I do my reading versus buying, and I always look at it from like month by month, but I never actually check publisher by publisher. And so with these ones, and with the one I got from the charity shop, I have 100% read rate on Boom comics. Maybe that's something I should be looking at. So yeah, 100%. Check please. By far. Has my heart and soul. I loved it. I didn't know I was going to love it as much. But that's when I started and finished. Bloom is just one shot on its own. Fence, I picked up the next one, but unfortunately another one got released, so I'm now behind. So volume 5 is now on my to buy list. So I need to pick up a volume 5. I'm going to see if I can get one this year. I do enjoy Fence. It's just basically haiku with swords, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. But yeah, check please. Oh my god. Volumes 1, I loved it, and I was like, oh my, I need volume 2 right now, so I needed to get it. So I did start a series, and I completed a series. But I only got, technically I got 5 volumes. On to the next publisher, and this is a publisher which I don't actually purchase a lot from, and I'm behind massively. And I mean massively. Like I'm scared to go and create my new wish list purely because of this publisher, because they have printed so many BL and BL adjacent titles that I need to put on my wish list, and I'm afraid to see the number. I'm afraid to see how many I am behind on, and yeah, because I only picked up 4 volumes from 7 Seas. And that's actually pretty appalling, because one of them, Classmates Volume 2, great, that's a continuing series, but I haven't completed it. There's a lot of the Classmates that I haven't picked up, because most of them I have in Japanese, and I'm like, I know the story, but some of it I don't know. Because I think Blanc came out, but I had that, I think, in Japanese when I went to go and get it, when I went on holiday to Japan, and but it's in Japanese, so I haven't actually properly read it. So I need to get these ones. Thigh High is one that I started, but it's only a 3-volume series. I haven't finished it yet. So I need to pick up volume 3, and then the one there that's just on its own until I meet my husband, which is just a one-shot standalone. So yeah, I have not completed any series from 7 Seas. And I have so many, and I don't even want to see. I don't even want to see. On to another one, and this is one that I didn't know if I wanted to include, but because I was including Bloom, I thought, why not? And this is Heartstopper, and this is Hodder as the publisher. And I picked up 3 volumes, volume 2, 3, and 4, which means technically I'm up to date. So I'm up to date. I haven't completed it because there's going to be a 5th volume, and then that will be the final one, and I'm happy about that. They have also, obviously, and I did mention before in another video, they have decided to release them in hardback form, and I thought, typical. As soon as I actually pick them up and I'm up to date, they decided to do fancier editions, which I would have probably liked, but yeah, it is what it is. I might see, just depends on my finances. That's just how it is. On to the next publisher, and that is Vertical. So I could have included this in my Kodancha, and then it would have been that Kodancha was the second highest. But I've always kept it separate, so I'm going to continue to keep it separate. This is Vertical's 3 volumes only, and What Did You Eat Yesterday, volumes 14, 15, and 16. So I think volume 20 will be released this year, 2023. So I will be picking up 17, 18, 19, and 20. At a certain point, when I can get them for good prices, I will pick up the final 4 volumes and completing that series, but also probably completing the publisher, because I don't think Vertical make anything else that's BL-esque. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I have no idea what Vertical do actually print. The only other Vertical title I own is Lychee Light Club, which is kind of BL-esque as well. It's also a massive horror that I would not recommend to anyone, and yet at the same time, at Halloween time, I'm like, read this, I love it, it's great. And I hate it, and it's great. Because I'm not a big horror reader. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else. So if I get the last 4 volumes, does that mean I've completed a publisher in terms of the BL output? I don't know, I'm gonna have to do some investigating about Vertical and any titles that Vertical actually print. Maybe they're phasing them out. I don't know. It's something to investigate. On to the next publisher. This publisher is one that I'm actually a little bit behind on, and I'm a bit sad that I'm behind on because I really love their titles. They're interesting, they're different, they're unique, and most of all, they're incredibly well made. This is Kuma, part of Dempa, and I picked up 3 volumes from Kuma. Only 3 volumes, but they're interesting titles. Melting Lover, which I got back in January. Wild Wild Wildlife, I got for a really good price. Mainly because I think no one likes it. It's pretty bad. And then Boys of the Dead, which I also picked up for a good price. They're all standalones, they're no series. So I haven't started a new series, I haven't completed a new series, but I have picked up 3 volumes of Kuma. And I just read today, so you'll know what today is. Kuma have announced that Melting Lover is going out of print. So if you haven't picked up Melting Lover, which is one of the first BL titles that Kuma published, they are no longer going to be reprinting this. So pick up your copy now if possible, so that you have it on your shelves. And also, you know, like, check out the dates of things. So when Kuma publishes things, when any publisher publishes something, check how many years it is until they do no more printing, no more reprints, because you do want to be able to pick up things as and when you can. But yeah, on to the next publisher. The next publisher is Dieu, and this is a special one. This is a special one, guys. Last year I only picked up 1 volume of Dieu, and that was Future Lovers, so that completed that series, and that was great. And then in this year I only had these 3 to get, so I completed the series Mr. Mistress with volume 2, and I completed the series Kiss All the Boys with volumes 2 and 3. So I've completed 2 series, and because of that, I have now completed this publisher. I have every Dieu title. I have completed a publisher. Yay! I'm so happy and so surprised, because I made a joke like a year and a half ago that you'd have to sell your kidney to get Mr. Mistress volume 2. And I for sure didn't think I was going to be able to pick up Kiss All the Boys for the prices that I got them for. Woof! Woof! I mean, I'm so proud. As a collector, it's like a proud moment when you get them for the good prices that you get them for. Super happy. I'm so happy about this. So yeah, I'm very proud. I feel like I need to celebrate these milestones. So you will not see Dieu next year, just like you're not seeing any Blue titles and you're not seeing any 801 titles. They're gone. I've got them all done. And Dieu is now done as well. So that's 3 publishers of BL out of print that I have completed, and it is amazing. It's actually amazing. I'm very proud of myself. On to the next publisher, and that is Square Enix. Now this one, I'm a little bit ashamed to say, I've not been prioritizing at all. I've only picked up one volume from Square Enix. The rest of the ones are only just one volumes. And that was Cherry Magic Volume 1. I have a Volume 3, so I need to get them all. I think there's going to be like 10 volumes of this, so I'm quite behind on Cherry Magic. There's another series that Square Enix print, which is, I think it's called Our Son is Gay, or I think Our Son is Gay, and I think there's 4 volumes out, and I haven't picked up any of them, and I really want to read that. It looks great. So yeah, there's a couple of things from Square Enix that I'm interested in picking up, and once again, I'm gonna have to make my wish list. This is gonna have to happen. I think February might be a time to sit down and actually make that video where I actually make my next wish list, because oof, I have no idea what I'm not picking up at the moment. On to another publisher that I only picked up one volume from, and that is Doki Doki. But this is Millennium Prime Minister Volume 1, and that means I've completed the series Millennium Prime Minister. So it's a 4-volume series. Turns out it's not actually BL, it's more like shonen or shoujo. I think it might even be shoujo, with some pretty boys. And that's not really what I'm after. So when I went through and reevaluated my Doki Dokis, it means there's only one left, because I'm not interested in Alice the 101st. There's a 4-volume series, Alice the 101st, and once again, it's a shoujo with pretty boys. That's not BL. That's not what I'm interested in. Which means that there's only Princess Plus, which, yeah, it's a tricky it's a tricky title to get. But every time I say in one of these videos, I'm never going to get it, it's going to be so difficult, it's impossible, I can't find it, it's too expensive, and I end up getting them. So I'm going to say it again, there's no way I'm going to get Princess Plus. Fingers crossed I do, but there's no way I'm going to manage to get it. It's so difficult, it's so expensive. But that will be the only Doki Doki title I need to get. So I have 1 volume left, and then I'll have a complete Doki Doki set. For me, anyway, personally. Because it's a Yuri and Yaoi title, like BL and GL title, mixed together, apparently. And also because I want to get the rest of Princess too. So that's something else to add to the wish list. So yeah, Doki Doki, I want 1 more, and then that's me. And then I'll be happy. On to the next one, and this one I have here as a separate title because it's a DMP, Digital Manga Publishing title. But when I looked on Baka, it wasn't clear if it was a DMP title, a June Manga title, or a Doki Doki title, and so I had it originally written down in my Doki Doki list, so it would have been in with Millennium Prime Minister, but it turned out it was a DMP title, so I've just put it as a separate one because it's not really June Manga either, because it isn't really a BL title, I don't think. It's just that the author is also someone who has created BL titles, so it's one of those kind of works, which is a bit like Millennium Prime Minister as well. Aki creates works that are BL, and therefore that's why it's all kind of been lumped together. So yeah, this is another DMP. There's quite a few DMP titles I would like to check out and see if they are worth getting. I don't know, but yeah, I haven't read this yet. I'm gonna have to and see if it's actually any good. But yeah, it's not. I've never actually sat down and gone through DMP and kind of checked which ones are slashable or BL-esque, that kind of thing. So I probably need to do that as well. On to the very last publisher. This is the very last publisher I'm going to talk about. This is Drama Queen. And I picked up 1 volume from Drama Queen because I only needed to pick up 1 Drama Queen title, and that was The Summit Volume 1. And it was a Volume 1 even though they didn't actually publish any of the others. So yes, Drama Queen, 1 volume, completed series, I guess. Completed publisher, I guess. So I'm putting this down as a completed publisher. Yay! So that's 2 completed publishers in 1 year. The only reason I'm putting it down as a completed publisher is because there is a couple of works that Drama Queen published, but once again, they are shoujo. I know one's called DVD. I can't remember what the other one's called. And they're Korean works that were shoujo, And I think once again they had like boys in the story, and that was supposed to be enough for us back in the day. Yeah. Like, there is plenty of actual BL works available. We don't need to just, pick up the crumbs off the floor of Drama Queen. No, thank you. The other thing that they have is Rush Volume 1. I have Volume 0, and they had Volume 1, and this is OEL works. You know how I feel about OEL. I hate them. If I see Rush Volume 1 for a good price, and by a good price I mean less than a fiver, which I might not ever see, but then fine, fair enough. It's OEL. I don't really want to have it in my collection, because if I have it in my collection I have to read it, and I don't want to read it. I don't want to read Zero either, so I don't really care. So if it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. For me, this was the title I needed to get, and it's the title that will complete the publisher. So for me, this is the second publisher completed, which means there will be no more Drama Queen. You won't see this either. So wow, that's 2 publishers completed 2 years running. So 4 publishers, 4 BL publishers completed. That's amazing. I'm so proud of myself. So onto this image now. I just wanted to show you that these are the ones that I have started. I didn't do this last year, but I did want to just say these are the ones that I've started. So I've got some new series that I picked up along the way, and it's not that many. It's actually not that many. And most of the things that I've been collecting have been filling in gaps and that kind of thing. And as you can see, not a lot of them are like brand new titles. Only the Flower Knows. And that's kind of a new title. I don't think. Yeah, no, not many brand new series. So that's something I need to look at in terms of the new ones that are being released and new ones that people are getting excited about. I'm not really picking them up. I'm picking up things that are cheap. But yeah, so that's a small stack of new series. So I will need to look at, once again, make my wish list. But I did think it was worth actually separating them out and seeing, okay, this is how many new series I've started. On to the next one, and that is how many series I finished. So Check Please, I started and finished. Intense, I finished. Millennium Prime Minister finished. Mr. Mistress finished. Toratan finished. Sweet Blood finished. To Take an Enemy's Heart finished. Don't Call Me Dirty finished. The Summit finished, and Kiss All the Boys finished. So these are the series that I have completed, and it's also not that many. So I think there's quite a lot of BL that is an ongoing series at the moment, and that seems to be a lot of what I've got. So I do think I need to check in once again and create that wish list, create that shopping list, create that keeping your eye out for these if they're a bargain kind of list, because it seems like most of what I've got in my collection or what's being published at the moment is actually ongoing series. So yeah, it's very interesting. So as you can see, I completed 10 series there. I started collecting 13 new series, but I did actually start and finish one, so that's fine. They kind of cancel each other out. But overall, it's been a good year. I don't think I have, made massive effort throughout the year. I've been trying to keep my spending lower. I haven't had huge big days when I've gone on a bit of a spending bender, as you call it. But I have still made masses of progress. So I've been very selective about what I've been picking up. Either titles like Kiss All the Boys, Mr. Mistress, which are like imperative you get to be able to get a complete collection, or The Summit to be able to complete a publisher, or I've been picking up titles that are cheap. And that's kind of what I've had as a year for 2022. I would say that I was selective and cheap. Which is, I'm sure, no great reflection on my own personality either. Selective but cheap. Oh, that's one way. That's definitely like you could definitely say that. It's a little bit like me. Anyway, I hope you find this interesting. It's a little bit longer than it normally is. This is normally a little bit of a longer video because I go through each of the publishers. But yeah, like I think having gone through this, it's been interesting, and I would like to look at each of the publishers and be like, well, how many of them did you read? So I'm going to do that in my own time. I'm going to go that and be like, okay, you've read most of them. But yeah, it's been interesting to see what I've added to the collection and what I've missed out on. You'll notice that there is no Be Beautiful, but I haven't completed Be Beautiful. So that's something I'm going to have to focus on in 2023 and see if I can get some Be Beautifuls. Obviously there's Incubus Volume 3 from Kitty Media. It's the only one, and it's been about 2.5 years and I haven't been able to pick it up. I don't think that's going to happen. Like I said about the Junior manga ones, there's the same ones that have been on the list for a long time and I haven't got any closer to them, so I don't think I'm going to. So there's ones that I do think will end up being on my lists for years to come, and I may or may not pick them up. It's just how lucky you get in terms of what's available. And sometimes I've been lying in bed and I haven't been able to sleep, and I've just been like, oh, I'm just gonna go on eBay, and there it is. There's a volume right there, just been uploaded for £10 plus shipping, and it's one that I need. And it's like maybe the BL gods have just smiled down and said, you know, it's for you. It's this is for you. So yeah, I do believe that there is a bit of serendipity when it comes to your collecting. There's luck, there's hard work, but there's also a bit of fate. And I feel like I'm fated to have some of these volumes. And for the price that they were. Woof, woof. It gives me chills. I'm so happy. So yeah, hopefully you guys are interested or entertained about this completing collections and my quest to continue to try and see if I can get every BL ever published. There are quite a few independent published ones that are very expensive. I don't have BJ Alex. I don't have, is it Sanctify? I don't have In These Words. They're foreign printed and they're very expensive to get to the UK. So I'll have to save up to see if I can get those. Unfortunately, that's just how it is. So yeah, thanks for watching this. I'm 365801 and I make videos about BL, manga, yaoi, male romance, and all that good stuff. Take care, everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!